Welcome, I'm Psychic Medium Roberto, and I truly hope you're doing well today. All right, so we are dealing with a true crime event, so subject matter could get sensitive. And disclaimer, all cases are treated as alleged until proven in a court of law. All right, so I'm looking at the case of Caleb Harris, who unfortunately went missing on the March the 4th, which would have been the early hours of Monday morning, and unfortunately has not been seen since. Now, I've drawn up this chart here, and I started with spirit first, and the image I received is a male, Caucasian, older than the student, 30s to 40s, shortish hair, blonde, sandy hair, but I would say a little bit more blonde. I'm still getting the sense of, and I've been struggling with it, I do get a sense that it could be dyed hair, but not obviously dyed hair, but I'm also picking up like salt and pepper hair. But is now, would have been like a sandy blondish type. I'm going to leave it at that. I had an image and sense of Caleb in back of vehicle lying down. He can see the perp driving. I heard the sound of a taser. And it's kind of just dawning upon me that why would Caleb, and the image I received is Caleb lying on the back seat looking up at the male. And I would say using a taser would debilitate him, obviously. And the outcome of this reading would explain why he would be possibly on the back seat. And how is he restrained, right? Right, there are two others there, but I'm just going to leave them there, whether they're going to be there at the end. I don't know if I was picking up what Caleb is doing in school, or what is it, or who it is, but I'm picking up a male wearing a white coat with head protective gear, white soft. I'm going to leave it at that for now. Unfortunately, for the parents, I don't believe this is going to end well. And you know, one day is one day when we'll have a case where there's a positive outcome. But I'm going to work on it. All right. So let's look at the days where the event took place, right? March the 4th, 2024, March 4. So let's start where the incident took place. So I've highlighted in orange with a red block, March 4, 2024. Caleb ordered Uber Eats. He went outside to wait for his Uber Eats, but when the Uber Eats driver arrived, Caleb was already missing. Now, the first thing that horrified me, and you know, I mentioned this in the Samantha Murphy case, and it always bothers me, and I'll explain myself today. There's a 7 in the middle of the day. And whenever there's a 7 around a crime, it can mean several things, and I just dread that it isn't what it shouldn't be, if you understand. You know, 7 can also point us in the direction of law enforcement. Law enforcement, security patrols. We know there's been cases at universities where students there was a female student attacked by a security guard or security officer and murdered. And as much as I was not avoiding it, but just trying to get confirmation that it's something else, I even looked at the Corpus Christi Police Department founding date. Now, it's not to say that everyone in the police department rushed over to kidnap Caleb. Of course not. But I needed to do a test to see if, by association, was one of the people in blue responsible for the disappearance of Caleb. Because when that 7's right in the middle, so let's look at the 7's. The following day, March 5, we have, in my opinion, a serial offender. So this is not the first time it's been done. And I guess in retrospect, thinking about that now, because we've got to get confirmations. The fact that that crime scene is so clean, I mentioned this in a previous video. The fact that the crime scene is clean, as far as we know, always alludes to professional hands, professional minds, professional know-how, and definitely male. Now, the 16-7 the next day, that to me is, this person has definitely done it before. The 7 outcome pings directly, the 16-7-7 pings directly on the outcome of the Corpus Christi Police Department. And I've been wondering why I'm feeling dread today. We can accept I've done a lot of cases lately. However, something is not right in the air. We'll note also on March the 5th, there's a compound effect of 8s. And that is just out of control instability stuff, right? March the 6th, stack of 8s. Too many 8s around. Very violent, aggressive. And I got an impression when I was pulling out these dates, was an impression of an imbalance with this person. Whoever the perpetrator, there's an imbalance. Because on March the 5th, we have that 5 at the start. And that tells me narcotics. So this person might have had a good weekend off, got a bit long in the tooth on Sunday and carried on, but then went back to his old ways as the hunter. Is the impression I'm getting. So if with that bit of information, we might want to look at MOs around students or people late at night, early mornings that have disappeared. I know that's a lot of people, unfortunately, even to think, how does it get to that level, right? So unfortunately, I would say by March the 6th, possibly even earlier, but I would just say by midday March the 6th, I don't believe Caleb would have continued, unfortunately. We see on March the 7th, there's a reflection of a murder, 18-9. Also pings directly on the Corpus Christi Police Department. And I'm just pointing out, coincidence or not. Coincidence or not. The 7 for me in this story is part of the problem. Or is the perpetrator, the unmasked perpetrator of crime. The 10-1 also confirms for me that it's part of a group or organization, the perpetrator. and would also more than likely reflect on Caleb. I wasn't able to find his date of birth anywhere. So whoever is responsible for this kidnap and abduction and murder, unfortunately, has a very strong tie to the police force, in my opinion, or security services. So surveillance footage around the area where he stayed should be looked at and seen if there were any police cars in the area or patrolling security vehicles. But I believe the person kind of had a slip on the weekend. Weekend was too good, and then went on a stalking mission. And I would definitely say that this person has done this before, definitely. Done this before. And in this case, associated with police or police, campus police. All right, I'm going to leave it there for now. I believe that's all I have. Please leave your comments. I love engaging with your comments. Please hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe and stay alert.